XSplit switch, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to game number 2 after 20 minutes of waiting of Exion versus fLC. We do have ExionSpawn spawning on the top left side as our green Zerg player, winning the first game over somebody whose name I can't remember. I apologize, it was too long ago. Nazd, that is Nazd, good call. Going against fLC's Crypt, spawning on the bottom right side as our blue Zerg player, and help me cast some ZvZ because, it's ZvZ, I have Sleeper Cells with me.
Yes, I am indeed here, and like I said, after that incredible 20-minute wait, we're rewarded with a ZvZ mirror matchup. Ooh, we gotta get our blood on. We gotta get ready for this because we're probably more than likely than not gonna see ridiculous banelings, and that is a 10 pool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your ridiculousness. We do have a 10 pool coming out of fLcKrypt. However, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down that extractor. Just for that double extractor trick. I was gonna say, what build is this? Never mind. It has been a while, folks, since I've even touched Starcraft 2, so I apologize.
Double gas.
Yeah.
So you can have
that is where my mind went.
Minerals.
Oh, jeez. ExionSpawn, on the other hand, doing something a little bit more standard. I believe he threw down about a 13 gas, 13 pool, was it?
No, it's 15 pool.
You know what? You're right. So there. Haha. Gonna go ahead and throw down a 15 pool, get that gas. For that metabolic boost, I would only assume. Queen coming on the way for fLcKrypt, however. Going to be a little bit ahead. Probably get that larva eject, probably spawn out a few Zerglings, and try to do a little harassment.
Yeah. I was gonna say, this attack isn't gonna work out well. If it was planned on being attack from Crypt, simply because it's supply blocked into making drones. So the 10 pool is now just one additional drone for Crypt over spawn, and a little bit of an earlier queen. So I guess he'll be alright, but his gas is going to be severely delayed. So map control is going to be spawns because he's going to have those speedlings much sooner than Crypt, and possibly some sort of crazy early baneling shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't really know what the point of going for that 10 pool was if he's not going to utilize the fact that it's a 10 pool.
I'm building a 10 pool to defend against a possible 6 pool.
I mean that's really the only thing I can think of. I mean, or maybe did he get a scout up and see that, Spawn hadn't gone hatchery first? I don't know. Maybe that could be it as well.
They're all overlords in both the players' naturals.
I don't know. I guess metabolic boost is going to be on the way quite a bit before Crypt's. Spawn's metabolic boost is going to be quite a bit earlier than Crypt's. About a little over halfway finished now. Crypt's just starting. So, like you said, map control going to go to Spawn for a little bit. Not the biggest deal in the early game. Now that both players kind of know that no crazy shenanigans are going on. 4 Zerglings for Spawn actually inside the main base now, just to get a full scout off, and actually going to get out without any real damage being taken.
Ow. Interesting decision from Crypt. He will be going for that double queen before natural expansion. I understand why you're going for that, but at the same time, I mean, you're not going to be spreading creep because ZvZ, and spreading creep too terribly far outside of just between your bases is just going to give your opponent an easier attack path, a faster attack path. Excuse me. We do have a spine crawler going down for Crypt. Let's take a moment to talk just briefly about this matchup, and into the fact that it's probably the most volatile matchup of all of them, in my opinion. It's very coin flippy-esque, and you can definitely see better players knocked out by slightly worse players simply by the will of the baneling explosions.
Yeah, baneling explosions play a massive role in this early game, and actually I was gonna say, speaking of both players going for that baneling nest, so we will be seeing some Zergling baneling hot action, which is extraordinarily micro-intensive, which D2JSB is more than welcome to point out for me.
Ooh, we do see a handful of lanes going to go ahead and poke up into the base of Crypt. They do have speed, so they are going to go ahead and get a better surround, but Crypt just going to have a little bit more Zerglings, so he's going to be able to clean that up, and I do not believe any drones were killed in the making of that fight scene. No, they were not, in fact, killed, so we do see... That being said, though, as you were talking about just a moment ago about the aggressiveness, the aggressive possibility of Link baneling, what we've been seeing a lot more out of Zerg players quite recently is just a very defensive style of banelings. You just have a spine crawler and 3 or 4 banelings, and you're completely safe from any sort of early mass Zergling harass. and it's really, really strong, really popular to see. And I believe that's actually what we're going to be able to see, at least out of Crypt, as he is dropping his Roach Horn.
Yeah, and I want to bring some attention over to Crypt's building placement at the bottom of his ramp. I really, really like the Spine Crawler and the Evolution Chamber. You can notice the Queen. I mean, yeah, the Queen's right next to the hatchery, of course. However, it's on the top side of the hatchery. It can get up and hold position on that ramp very easily between those buildings. And that is exactly what it's going to do. I actually think there's a slight hole there. I'm not sure. But it allows that Queen to get up and hold position on that ramp and block any Zerglings or Banelings from getting into the main base fairly easily. Makes that run path a little bit longer as you have to go over that supply depot.
And Spawn, seeing that wall off, was able to quickly pick off a creep tumor, actually. Excuse me, so that early creep tumor from Crypt was able to be taken care of very easily. Here come the Lings, once again going to explode. No, actually not going to go up the ramp. If they had, they would have been met with a couple of Banelings, but they're just going to go ahead and turn around and run home. Still holding on to this map control. Really, really impressive by Spawn. But that being said, this sort of map control is good, but map vision and ZvZ not too big of a deal, as there are overlords all over the place.
If you just want to look at the income tab, 44-32 in favor of Spawn. Wow. At the 9-minute mark.
He's feeling comfortable.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he is actually in a huge economy lead right now. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure where that happened. I think Crypt may have made a few more Zerglings, or where's the unit tab? There we go. A few more Zerglings or something along the way, but he's pretty far behind in that drone tab. Actually, now 11 roaches coming after Spawn, getting that +1 missile attacks. Both players doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, we just had a Baneling from Crypt just sort of waddle its way across the map and walk up and die to a Spine Crawler in Spawn's base. Not quite sure what that was. He might have been trying to pick off some Lings at the front of the base, but not controlling that at all. Caused it to die without actually exploding on anything. It was just sort of a merciless death there, provided by the poking action of the Spine Crawler. But here we do have Roaches spawning on the field for Spawn. Crypt already has a handful out of his own here. Going to be going ahead and slowly starting to pick away at these third. The Brock's blocking the path to the third base. Spawn going to be a little bit supply blocked here. Definitely going to want to bob out a couple overlords. Here they come. But Spawn taking a pretty significant supply lead early in the ZvZ. Really, really impressive basic macro mechanics and basic map control and drone timings.
That's
from
one
Spawn
thing
right here.
That's one thing that we saw he did much better than his opponent in the previous game, was that macro. Once again, we saw Naz go ahead and float about 1,000 minerals and 1,700 gas, and never really got that completely spent towards the end of the game. Spawn kept his minerals and his gas fairly low at most points, and was able to just kind of overcome in the end with sheer numbers. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. I mean, neither player's macro is bad right now. But Spawn's is a little bit better, and actually lost a lot of drones somewhere to something, I think. Did I miss something?
No, he hasn't lost
39. It's 39 to 48 drones suddenly. And yeah, no,
I think he just made a bunch of buildings.
Yeah, I think he made a couple of buildings, and
yeah, he made a Roach Horn, double evolution chamber.
Yeah, and Crypt just made a bunch of drones. Wow, yeah. So my
couple spore crawlers.
I missed something there apparently, and it was the buildings being made. Third base is going to finish a little bit earlier for Spawn.
Here
however,
comes an attack from Spawn. The overlords from Crypt will see this. There's a pretty decent supply lead for Spawn right here. If he was able to get up around those roaches with the Lings, he would be able to get them off. Nice little arc from Spawn. Gonna go ahead and engage the roaches up. Crypt got a decent arc, but here come the Spine Crawlers. Gonna go ahead and start rooting in. We're probably gonna see Spawn pull back in just a moment, but it looks like he's gonna go ahead and commit to this attack. Nice transfusions coming down from this Queen on the high ground. Still, Spawn pressing his luck. Gonna be able to take on one of the Spine Crawlers. Both the Spine Crawlers are down. Roaches are being macroed in from Crypt, but Spawn taking a huge lead. I believe his 1-1 did just finish as well. No, it's just 0-1 at the moment for both players, but he is going to be able to kill the third base of Crypt. Very nice little attack there from Spawn.
And that was not a canceled third base either. That just died. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Spawn committed so heavily to that. I mean, when he went in there, he just pushed as hard as he possibly could. And I guess in the end, it won him that battle. But he's going to have to be careful about that in future engagements. Did take a nice little supply lead. And real quickly, before this battle happens, just look at that map vision of Crypt. He saw this attack coming from a mile away. And just going to pick off a couple of roaches and Zerglings from the high ground. Fairly good positioning for Crypt here, but Crypt stuck now on 2 base, having to make a bunch of Spine Crawlers up on the high ground. That's not a position you want to be in, especially in a mirror matchup. Now, he does know that Spawn's third base is up and established.
Oh, here comes Spawn moving up the main natural ramp here. Going to be going straight up the throat of Crypt here.
Oh, wow. And he has just a massive number of roaches. Units tab, 28 roaches to the 14 remaining of Crypt. I think Spawn might have this game once again, just throwing a massive amount of units down the throat of his opponent. Great fungal growth. I couldn't even finish saying my sentence before that game ended. There was a great fungal growth there by fLc's Crypt. However, Spawn once again just kind of taking a little bit of lead, taking a small advantage, and then just pressing super hard, and eventually just kind of broke the back of his opponent.
Well, I mean, the timing there from Spawn, he sent an Overseer and was able to see the infestation pit, so he knew that his opponent was going for quick infestors off of 2 base going on to 3, so he knew that he could engage and he could go well. Finished up at the very end there, his 2-1 upgrades to his opponent's 1-0. Very, very just solid play, solid macro, and solid decision-making from Spawn there in this second game of the night, so he's going to go ahead and take a quick 2-0 games, 2 games off of the other team.
fLc?
Yes,
that would be the other team. Now, once again, in both games, Spawn has won by just kind of taking a position that he's in and pressing his luck a little bit. I'm not saying that he's winning by luck. Let me try to rephrase this. He's taking a situation he's in, and when he gets this small little advantage, he'll just press super hard. He'll commit fully to it. And I'm afraid that might get him in a little bit of trouble in another game or two here. I mean, if fLc is noticing this, that could put him in kind of a bad position.
I mean, that being said, he's committing because I feel like he has great ideas of timings here. I mean, he was committing because he saw and he confirmed that he could commit. I mean, he didn't just run in there and go, okay, I'm going to push up here and pray and hope to the Starcraft gods that this is going to work. He was able to scout a great timing, was able to push out and hit that fantastic timing with a roachling early aggression, and his opponent just didn't have units. And I feel like, as opposed to that being sort of luck-based, I feel like that was just good game knowledge.
That's true, and he had an excellent timing coming in there, was able to kill that third base off of Crypts right before it finished. He did that in the first game as well, killing off a third command center about, oh wait, never mind, that was a completely different game. That was our warm-up game that we were casting.